Okay, here we go, everybody. It's me. It's me. It's me, Gregory Mannarino. Yes, it is I. And we're going to have a good time today because you can't make this stuff up if you try to. None of it. It's incredible. All right, look. So post-market wrap-up Monday, June 9th. 9th? Yeah, 9th, 2025. Let's start off with the market. Okay, a flat day. Despite the news that we got today, I want you to think about this. Over the last month, $1 trillion in stock buybacks. That's what's been lifting this market for those of you that have been curious, again, as the economy craters into the ground, through the crust of the earth. It's an incredible thing. All right, we're gonna cover that. Let me just start off with some basic stuff here. The reason why, let me just show you this real quick. This is how the market ended today. Really nothing at all. Even the Nasdaq, which is really bearing the brunt of this $1 trillion stock buyback. This is what's happening here. The 10-year yield is in a bad spot. Did come down a little bit. This is pressuring the market. The Feds must get in here, and they will, and buy more debt and issue more debt. Dollar's still below 100. It's going much lower. I mean, I'm not saying we're not going to possibly bump back up, but the longer term trend for the dollar, even on a relative strength basis or comparative, is much, much lower. Gold, silver, crude, all looking real pretty. And then you got this whole issue here going on with Bitcoin. I think we're going to be again at 110 very soon with Bitcoin, and we'll see if we break above that. Here, I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm going to say this. 3 months, 4 months, you're going to have $120,000 Bitcoin. Let's see if that call is correct on there. What are my thoughts on bonds? I guess that's a really good question. I think the whole entire market is rigged. It begins with the bond market. You got central banks in here buying it all, keeping rates artificially suppressed. That's killing the currency, and it's a big problem. But even with that, let's just talk about this here. 1 trillion in stock buybacks. Let me read this to you. Breaking news. Companies, especially tech, I'm going to tell you which ones, okay, are buying back shares of their own stock on an epic scale. $1 trillion of buybacks in just the last month. This is unprecedented. And we're going to talk about this. As a matter of fact, let's just do it right now. If you do subscribe to my newsletter, again, link in the description of this video. You guys can hear me okay? I'm imagining so. Magic, what's up? This is in your inbox right now. Hey, Magic, just real quick. Remember, you sent me a bunch of little charms, the stones. They're beautiful. Vega had one on her neck, and that's what kept her alive so long. I am certain about it. Anyway, guys, look, let's cover this. 1 trillion in buybacks in 1 month. This is zombification personified. Zombification personified. And let's go over this. So, Lions, buybacks are now the #1 driver of the S&P 500. Stock buybacks are the #1 driver of the S&P 500. The scale of buybacks is staggering. 1 trillion in buybacks in 1 month. This is unprecedented. It is zombification personified. It's also, well, just hold that thought. I'm going to break this down for you, what's actually going on and why. And this is really important. At least I think it is. Again, in your inbox, please go through this. Make up your own mind. I'm not here to convince you. You guys and girls are smart enough to get it. Let's talk. So, what's going on here with this $1 trillion in buyback? What a number. Companies are buying back shares not because they see real growth, but to prop up their stock price. Now, why would they want to do this? To manufacture earnings per share growth by reducing the share count. And, of course, to enrich executives via stock-based compensation. Just in case you were wondering, and maybe you don't know this, but the big fat cats on Wall Street, their compensation is grossly dependent on performance of the stock. So by propping it up, they all get bigger, fatter, big, fat, beautiful bonuses. Okay, just like this big, fat, beautiful spending bill that it looks like 79% of you so far who are taking this poll don't like. So in this spending bill here, President Trump has proposed a $1,000 deposit from the government, which means the Federal Reserve, to start a savings account for every child born here in the United States. We don't have that cash. President Trump can't tell you that. Okay, we're not producing anything. Zombification personified is what we have become here in the United States. This again, $1,000 would have to be created out of thin air for the children, added to the debt. You understand? All of you know that. You'll understand this. I am certain of it. Thank you, Bill. I appreciate that. I thought I looked like a train wreck. But that's besides the point. Anyway, so companies are buying back shares of stock, not because they see real growth, but to prop up their stock price and manufacture earning per share growth by reducing share count, and also to enrich the executives via stock-based compensation. Boom. Now, here are these companies. I'm going to show this to you. You guys can take note of this, or like I said, this is in your inbox. Who's doing it? Well, these are the big players. You got Apple, you got Microsoft, Google, Meta, NVIDIA. Okay, all engaging in record buybacks. Why right now? That is a very good question. Let me answer that. These companies know that the underlying economy is weakening people by their own numbers. Right, Mitch? Thank you. Job market, manufacturing, imports, dollar collapse, unknown. Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I wish I was back with Greg Hunter. I miss him. He's a little lost. I wish I could get him back. Anyway, why? Okay. These companies know the underlying economy is weakening. Job market is dead. Manufacturing is a zombie. The imports collapsing, literally. Manufacturing here in the United States is dead. It's buried, and it's going to get a lot worse. And the dollar collapse. They're using these buybacks to mask. You know how Greg Mannarino hates masks. The coming earnings deterioration. What do you think is going to happen moving forward? Moreover, they are leveraging debt. They are leveraging debt to buy back shares. Why again? Because they know, number one, the Fed is about to cut rates. And number two, currency debasement is accelerating, loss of purchasing power. Now, I wanted to dedicate a little bit more to this. Insider enrichment. So stock-based compensation is a huge part of executives' pay. Okay. Buybacks drive share price up artificially. And then insiders, of course, cash out. And what this is legalized theft on a massive scale. It's wealth extraction right out of wherever they want to take it from. Now, many of these firms are taking on new debt. Look this up for yourselves. Many of these, which I already named, these corporations are taking on new debt to fund buybacks, short-term stock gains, long-term fragility. Now, the broader market impact. Buybacks are now, as we just said, the number one driver of the S&P 500 to the upside. It's not earnings growth. It's not demand. It's not productivity. What is this? So what does this tell us? It's a zombie. It's a zombie. It consumes. It's not producing. You understand? It's always the same. This creates a massive distortion. Look, man, everything is a gross distortion right now, but this exacerbates the problem. Why isn't anyone speaking out about this besides I? Well, maybe I can tell me. This is an illusion of strength, masking 1, slowing revenue, 2, rising debt, 3, slowing demand. I wrote 2 twice. Okay. And 3, shrinking margins. When the buyback wave stops, what do you guys and girls think is going to happen? Okay, it's pretty obvious. Stocks will drop because why? The bid will just poof, vanish. Yes, that's what's going to happen. Does that make sense? It should. Now, final thought. What this is, seriously, is companies cannibalizing themselves to enrich the executives here. It's full-on zombification to prop up stock prices during what I say. I wrote here a late-stage fiat collapse. I don't think we're in the late stage here. I think more than likely we're still in the pretty early phases of this. This is what it is. Now, this is a massive wealth transfer to the insiders, another great taking mechanism. Now, I asked for your thoughts and your comments on this. A lot of people did right back, and I greatly appreciate that. So anyway, that's pretty much where we're at, people. The beauty of all this really is, we saw this coming from years ago, not a week, not even a month. I'm talking years ago. We saw all this, I, because we clearly understand, I got to get my language right, the dynamics in play. That's all I look at. Yes, Jeffrey, you're 100% right. I don't want to say an easy job, but I've gotten pretty adept at looking at dynamics that are in play with regard to the economy, the markets, the overall financial system overall, and putting this together in a way that makes sense, at least I hope so, to you guys and girls out here. But it doesn't, these are, how do I say this without sounding crazy? These are literally kind of predictive models that I use. Now, that doesn't mean they're 100% right. They're not. Now, by breaking down these dynamics that are in play currently, okay, it allows us to project out what the most likely outcomes are going to be. Now, some of you have been with me for since the beginning. I have not been right 100% of the time. We have not been right all the time, but I don't believe, and I mean this, that there is another group of people who have been as accurate as we are. And I'm not tooting my horn, your horn, or anybody else, because this is just looking at what's happening, putting this together, and just coming up with the most likely outcome. And really, honestly, we've nailed this. We've nailed it to the freaking wall. Look, just want to say real quick, for those of you out here who, and I got slammed over the weekend and this morning with regard to Tesla. I did something I almost never do. In fact, almost never do. If you go to my newsletter right now, you'll see that I did do a breakdown there. Yes, Adam, thank you. Of Tesla. I gave you my opinion on whether or not it's a buy right now. Go check that out if you're interested. Now, look, that's what I wrote there is not, it's not investment advice. It's just my opinion. All this is just my opinion. Everything that we cover. But you know what? Our opinion here has been freaking spot on. It's been pretty outstanding. JEBQ, still in JEPQ, more than likely going to be adding to that. Getting back, I want to see the 10-year yield drop here. I've been on hold for a long time. I've been in the cash position. I don't like it. This is why I am not, even with the stock buybacks, this is bothering me. You see that? We're going to wait. I'm going to wait. All right. You know, there's a lot of other places you could be putting cash to work right now as well. You all know that, gaining exposure to silver, my favorite asset of all time. You want to get yourself into crypto just a little bit. I mean, you know, look, guys and girls, we know that debt is going to explode. It's not going to stop. And part of this big, beautiful bill, all of it is massively inflationary, and it all has to be borrowed into existence. We do not have the cash. But no one's going to tell you that, especially President Trump. And I'm not putting the man down. It's the fact. He's not going to tell you that we got to borrow this cash into existence. He's just not going to. No president is going to tell you that. And I'm not just, again, pointing my finger at Donald Trump. Did Biden creature do it? No. Did President Trump before that do it? No. In fact, President Trump before was calling right out, and like he's doing now. Oh, he wants a weaker dollar. How does that help you? It doesn't. At least he's got the guts to say. You got to give the man a little bit of credit here. When he comes out saying, I want a weaker dollar, he's telling you, you're gonna have to deal with a weaker currency, and everything's going to cost you more. Your cost of living, providing for your family. At least he's got some set of you-know-whats to actually tell you what he's going to do, and he still has your support. Many of you still support this guy, even though he's telling you, I'm going to kill the dollar. I'm going to make your life a lot harder. I'm going to allow the Federal Reserve to inflate. calling for lower rates, allowing the Fed to inflate. It's amazing. It really, really is. But that's just the way it is. There's just no other way around it. So what can I tell you? Alan Satoshi Greenspan, you're here. Anyway. Do you guys and girls want to talk about anything specific before we get out of here? Because we really covered, this is important stuff here, guys. And I wish we had a bigger turnout here. We have less than 1,000 people. They don't want to hear about it. It's amazing how people ignore this kind of stuff. They don't want to understand what's going on and why they're being robbed blind via everything that we just talked about. They don't care. They don't care about zombification. Nothing at all. That's okay. That's all right. But you see, we get it. We realize what's happening, why. And again, we're not going to deviate at all. The beauty of what I have done here, okay, is set ourselves up in such a way that we don't have to deviate. We don't have to turn this way. Oh, no. Let's turn that way. We're betting against the system, becoming our own central bank. Sound familiar? Raising our awareness, trying to at least reconnect with people who are on the same page. That we're being set up to fail on a scale that is just beyond belief. If we believed that things were bad under the last creature, Bidenstein, my favorite man, the mummy man, the creature, the thing, the vomitous mass, puke. You remember all those names? It's worse now. And I know that a lot of us were hoping this would change. It hasn't. And we covered it right here, how things would not change prior to the presidential selection, how whoever they chose would be exactly what we got here. More debt on a massive scale, a vast expansion of debt, artificially suppressed rates, currency devaluation, all of it. Well, here we are. So the mummy face, I don't even remember what that was. I had a lot of funny faces for people. I'm trying not to distort myself more than I'm already doing it. All right, guys, listen, I think we're kind of out of here. Love you with all I got. So you got some out of this video? I'd love to hear from you. Please share it. Please get it out there. Mummy TV. That's awesome. That's awesome, man. I love it. Love it. Anyway, yes, the big, beautiful bill. It looks like most of you don't support it. I do not support vastly expanding the debt in any way, shape, or form. I do support us going back to the Gold Reserve Act of 1934, which would end the Federal Reserve in 7 seconds. Donald Trump could do this. He could revalue gold at whatever he chooses. No, that's not going to happen. Not in this reality or any reality. Every president, every world leader is nothing but a puppet working for their respective central bank to allow the central banks collectively to own it all, to fulfill their end game. Central banks are so powerful right now that it's like they have a gun to the head of world leaders. And that's exactly the truth. Okay. Maybe you guys kind of understand what's going on. I love APMEX. I've been using APMEX for years, Ronix. I really do think that I don't like to endorse any company, but I have to say that APMEX is, I trust them. I've used them for since silver was $8, maybe lower than that. I don't even know, $6, low, cheap. Anyway, but there's a lot of other ones out there. But look, man, you got to find something that works for you. What I like about APMEX is if you are a buyer over a period of time, or if you buy a lot of it, you get pretty good deals on stuff that nobody else does. So I don't know how many other companies do that, but they do. And APMEX is very simple to use as well. All right, guys, love you. I'll see you guys and girls in the morning. If you got something out of this video, let me know. Please share this stuff, get it out there. If I've earned you a thumbs up, which I really do hope I have, please give the video a thumbs up as well. All right, see you all in the morning. What do you think about this thing? Zombification freaking personified. Sometimes I come up with some good things. I'll see you tomorrow.